Why no species will accept animal gifts from Earth anymore? The Interstellar Concord prided itself on diplomacy. Every species had its customs, its quirks, its boundaries, and over centuries, trade agreements and cultural exchanges had smoothed most frictions. Then Earth joined. At first, humanity's arrival in the galactic community was greeted with curiosity and optimism. Humans were energetic, eager, and filled with ideas no one had considered before. They introduced music in 12 scales, cuisine that set half the galaxy on fire, and a knack for improvisation that baffled their more rigid peers. But then came the animal gifts. Chapter 1. The Tradition. When the Arxel ambassador visited Earth, humans wanted to impress. Gifts are important in diplomacy, the Terran ambassador explained. We'll give them something living, an animal companion. Pets strengthen bonds. The Arxel, towering cephalopods with translucent skin, accepted politely. They received 2 cats. At first, the Arxel were delighted. The cats purred, kneaded, and curled up on gelatinous laps. But within weeks, things soured. The cats had discovered the ambassadorial aquariums, sacred repositories of Arxel ancestral memory, encoded in aquatic microfauna. To the cats, it was simply a fish tank. By the time the embassy intervened, centuries of Arxel history had been consumed or scattered across the floor. The Arxel never forgave humanity. Keep your mammals away from us, they hissed. Chapter 2. The Rodent Incident. The Gorthons were next. Stoic reptilians, they valued endurance and self-sufficiency. Humans, thinking cleverly, presented them with hamsters, creatures resilient, prolific, and simple to care for. The Gorthons accepted. At first, they admired the tiny wheels, the endless running, the determination. These small warriors never surrender, one remarked. Then the hamsters bred. And bred. And bred. Within 3 months, Gorthon agricultural domes swarmed with millions of rodents, chewing wires, burrowing through crops, gnawing sacred banners. Attempts at extermination only spread them further. The infestation forced the Gorthons to evacuate entire colonies. To this day, they refer to it as the plague of small teeth. They, too, refused all further Terran fauna. Chapter 3. The Avian Disaster. The Zelphi valued beauty. Their crystalline cities shimmered under alien suns, and their symphonies were sung not by people but by genetically tuned birds. So humans thought, why not give them parrots? Bright, intelligent, capable of mimicking sound, it seemed a perfect match. The Zelphi were enthralled at first. Parrots sang in harmony with their crystal choirs. Visitors applauded the cultural fusion. Humanity congratulated itself on diplomacy done right. Until the parrots learned to swear. In 3 languages. Apparently, the crew transporting them to the Zelphi homeworld had been less than polite. The parrots absorbed every expletive, every insult, every vulgarity, and repeated them with gusto. Soon, during solemn ceremonies, parrots screeched obscenities in perfect pitch, corrupting ancient hymns into bawdy tavern songs. The Zelphi were horrified. Religious schisms erupted. Wars nearly broke out over whether the parrots were divine messengers or blasphemous pests. The parrots, of course, just kept swearing. Chapter 4. The Canine Catastrophe. The Krillins were warriors. Their culture revered loyalty, courage, and ferocity. When humans offered them dogs, they were intrigued. At first, the Krillins adored their new companions. Packs of hounds marched beside soldiers, tails wagging. They guarded camps, fetched equipment, even joined parades. But dogs are clever. And affectionate. Soon, Krillin warlords found their fearsome troops distracted, rolling in mud, throwing sticks, scratching bellies. Soldiers delayed raids to rub ears. Entire divisions refused orders until their canine companions were properly fed. The Krillin war machine ground to a halt, undone not by battle but by puppy eyes. The Krillin leadership denounced dogs as psychological weapons of mass pacification and accused humans of sabotage. Chapter 5. The Primate Fiasco. By now, the Concord was wary. But one species, the solemn overran scholars who valued knowledge, remained open. We will give them monkeys, humanity suggested. Primates are clever, tool-using. The overran will appreciate their intelligence. The overran agreed, fascinated. They provided the monkeys with puzzles and instruments. The primates excelled. Then the monkeys discovered alcohol. During a scholarly convocation, monkeys raided ceremonial stores of fermented fruit. Drunk, they hurled manuscripts into fountains, swung from chandeliers, and mooned delegates from the rafters. One monkey, remarkably dexterous, rewired an overran data core, replacing centuries of catalogued wisdom with an endless loop of knock-knock jokes. The overran declared humanity culturally toxic. Chapter 6. The Final Straw. Even after so many disasters, a few species still tried. Humanity was persuasive, after all, and insisted each failure was a cultural misunderstanding. But then came the goose incident. Geese were offered to the gentle Thalorians, amphibious philosophers who prized tranquility. The humans promised geese were serene waterfowl. They lied. Within hours of release, the geese terrorized entire cities. They hissed, they chased, they bit. They claimed ponds as territory and drove Thalorian elders screaming into the streets. Worse, the geese organized. Witnesses reported coordinated attacks, honking formations, even siege tactics. For the first time in millennia, the Thalorians abandoned their temples, fleeing from feathered conquerors. That was the breaking point. Chapter 7. The Ban. The Interstellar Concord convened an emergency summit. Delegates replayed holovids of cats demolishing ancestral aquariums, parrots cursing in three-part harmony, hamsters overrunning farms, dogs collapsing war machines, monkeys reprogramming archives, and geese declaring war. The verdict was unanimous. No species shall accept animal gifts from Earth ever again. The decree was etched into Concord law, enforced with fines, quarantines, and even military patrols. Human diplomats protested. But our animals are wonderful. They're companions, helpers, family. The Concord shuddered collectively. They are chaos incarnate. Chapter 8. Humanity's Response. Humans were disappointed, but also, oddly proud. It means our animals made an impression, one Terran ambassador said. An impression of terror, replied the Arxel. Still, humans couldn't help smiling at the legacy. Cats, dogs, parrots, monkeys, geese each had left their mark, indelible, unforgettable. Some even joked that animals were Earth's most effective weapon. After all, none of the disasters had been deliberate. What if they were? The Concord, overhearing, tightened the ban even further. Epilogue. The Legacy of Chaos. Years later, young cadets in interstellar academies would whisper the stories. Of parrots who cursed entire symphonies. Of hamsters who toppled farms. Of geese who conquered cities. They laughed, of course. But behind the laughter lay caution. Everyone agreed, gifts from Earth were too dangerous. And humanity, smiling quietly to itself, never entirely disagreed. After all, no matter the weaponry, no matter the fleets, no species had ever spread chaos through the galaxy quite like Earth's animals. And that was why, to this day, no species will accept animal gifts from Earth anymore.